Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you're looking for jewelry that makes an impact on your self-care routine and your style, Empowerography would love to offer you a discount code to one of our exclusive partners, Quartz & Canary Jewelry and Wellness Company. Please use code EMPOWER15 to receive 15% off upon checkout at www.quartzandcanary.com. Quartz & Canary is truly the place where spirituality meets style. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Cecilia Tement. She is a transformational story coach and an award-winning author based in Richmond Hill. How are you doing this morning, Cecilia?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of the community and be here on the podcast to share a bit about your story and your journey. I appreciate you taking the time, and I appreciate you.
I'm excited. I appreciate you too.
Awesome. So let's jump in. You are a transformational story coach, a master life coach, a trauma recovery specialist, an award-winning author, and last but not least, a motivational speaker. How on earth do you have all the time for all of that?
Oh, well, I don't really. I just make the time.
You just pull time out of the air?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's so funny because I used to think I was really busy working like a regular 9-to-5 type of job, but I feel like I'm much busier now that I'm an entrepreneur than I ever was before.
Oh, for sure. I would say that entrepreneurship takes up a lot more time. And I think that's the myth that people think that, you know, when they get into entrepreneurship or they want to get into it, they think, oh, this will be easy. I can pick my own hours. And honestly, I think it's like having 2 or 3 full-time 40-hour-a-week jobs.
Yeah, and plus I have like kids and a husband too, so apparently I have to show up for those people
Damn
as well.
Kids and husband.
So
how
demanding.
dare they?
I know, right? It's unbelievable. I mean, and this is the joke now. Now it's like, I'm like, yeah, but you're not paying me to give you advice. So the people have to take priority.
The bill is in the mail.
That's it. Well, I mean, honestly, if I charge them, they'd owe me way more than it's possible to pay. So it's okay. They can pay me in love. They're allowed to pay me in love. Those
there
are the
you
only
go.
ones.
So what is a transformational story coach, and how long have you been doing that?
Well, you know, I made it up because
okay.
I got certified as a master life coach, but
okay.
I came up with story coach because I believe that we all feed into these stories, and some of these stories are painful ones, traumatic ones, stories that hold us back. And so, you know, if you can transform your story and understand that sometimes what we've believed our entire lives can be, you know, steeped in limiting beliefs, in negativity, in falsehood, in the projected values and beliefs of other people, then we can start to shift and find our own authentic voice and tell the story from a perspective that makes sense to who we actually are versus who we think we have to be.
Excellent. So what is a master life coach compared to just a regular life coach?
Oh, it just means I took more courses.
All right.
I took a course that said I'm a master life coach.
Okay.
So, you know, hey, I'd like to say I'm smarter, more in depth, more wise, but yeah, that's all it means.
You spent more money and took more courses.
That's it. I took more courses.
What is your favorite part of your career as a coach?
Oh my gosh. I think my favorite part for sure has to be when that light just comes into somebody's eyes, that kind of sparkle that says, I get it now. I understand that this is all about self-love. And the more I love myself, the more in tune with who I am I become. And so that moment, that little sort of aha is what I live for. When I see that, I'm like, that's it, man. I've done my job.
I feel amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
totally.
got to be incredibly rewarding.
It's the best thing ever, especially when so many of the people that I work with have come through so much deep internal struggle, to see that they're able to heal themselves through personal understanding is huge. And I think everyone deserves that moment of just seeing how beautiful it is to fully love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, the fact is you're just going to screw your life up. That's the truth. Well,
true. I mean, absolutely everything starts with that foundation of self-love and then flows outwards, right? You have to start within to do the work, and then you are able to give to the people around you and help support them. But if you don't give to yourself first, and see, that's the other thing, is people think that's so selfish, that putting themselves first, and it's not. It's a healthy way to live. It's the healthy thing to do. You have to look after yourself first.
Yeah, there's a big difference between confidence and arrogance.
Yes.
And I always say it's not selfish, it's self-full, right? If you're full of yourself in the most beautiful sense, then you're going to be able to operate on a higher level than you ever have before. The fact is when we don't lack and when we don't feel insignificant, we don't need to look outside of ourselves for validation.
Right. And I mean, if you feel that much better, like if you feel that good about yourself, you'll be able to show up that much better for the people in your life, your friends, your family, your business, whatever.
Yeah, show up for yourself.
That's right. Because I mean, if you don't have that, everything else around you is going to suffer.
It'll crumble. And that's what I've seen over and over again in my own life and in other people's lives, is that the more you solidify your sense of self and wholeness, and you understand that you have to look inside before you do anything else, then that's when things will turn around for you, not before.
That's right. Can you walk us through a bit of your process when working with coaching clients?
So coaching in and of itself is not supposed to be therapy or it's not supposed to be the typical kind of like talk therapy. What it is setting clear, specific, measurable goals based on your values and what you want for yourself, actioning those goals, and then being held accountable for making them happen by your coach. So that is generally what I do, yes, but I also do involve some healing practices. A big part of what I do is, because I'm an energy healer, I'm a bit of a spiritual channel as well. And so I do work with clients on a deeper emotional level to help release their trauma. So a lot of us have blocked energies inside of our body. When you feel a sense of anxiety, nervousness, worry, depression, you might feel that in certain parts of your body. Some people say it's in the pit of my stomach. I feel tightness in my chest. I have trouble breathing. And so all of these are generally a trauma response based on something they've experienced in the past. So a big part of what I do is I look at that response. I try and find the root of it. And then I uncover, if you will, I uncover kind of the illusion of what this person has believed for a long time. And then I help them to dispel it. And then we kind of set ourselves on the right track to find what they really want and who they actually are. So that's kind of my process. It's hard to explain in a nutshell, but
no, that's okay. That makes sense.
I feel into people's souls. I feel into their souls, and I figure out where they're stuck, and I unstick them.
And you hold them accountable. You kick their asses.
I know, it's so funny. So I have a client, and she'll laugh when she hears this, but she always says I have like a hammer, and that every time I come out, I'm like, hey now, let's look at that thought again. And so I tell her though, no, it's not a hammer. It's a gentle angel nudge, just like a feather. But she doesn't think so. But anyway, I was like, it works. What do you care?
There you go. Exactly. As long as it works, right?
That's it.
So how long have you been a trauma recovery specialist, and what type of training did you get to gain that title, and what inspired you to do that?
Well, so I took a bunch of courses, but I basically, that piece is my own personal experience that helped me to figure out how to recover from trauma. But also I worked for 18 years in the social work industry. And so I work with abused women and children. I feel and again, it's a self-designation, right? Like I've got my life coach training, but this is my life training, in that I've been through multiple experiences of trauma, and I figured out how to lift myself up out of it. And so, I'm a specialist in my own life and what I figured out to do for myself. And then I share that with people. And if it resonates for them, great. And if it doesn't, we move on and find a different technique, but generally speaking, for me, I think that everyone is a specialist in their own life too. I think that that's so important. I've actually met a million different coaches who have no qualifications and who are spectacular at what they do. I believe that if you hone your skill sets in terms of your own experience and you test out those things and those practices and they work for you, there's nothing wrong with sharing that with other people and saying, hey, you know what? Try this out and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. True. Very true. I mean, the worst that can happen is it doesn't work and you try something else.
That's it. There's never, I believe there's never a dead end.
Right.
You know, if you have creativity and intuition and the wherewithal to make the effort, there's always a solution. I don't care how complicated the situation is. And I have yet to find somebody who can't come up with their own degree of answer that works for them in their life.
Yeah. So you had mentioned you've done a lot of social work, and you've done a lot of work around being a child advocate worker, community outreach officer. Can you tell us a bit about your work in those areas? Can you talk to us a bit about that?
Yeah, so basically what I did is I worked with, abused children in doing programming. I worked with the moms for parenting groups. I helped to connect kids through schools, and I offered them counseling support. So that was the main part of that job. Community outreach was mainly fundraising and event management and marketing. Okay. And so that was all within the same job. So,
wow, that's quite a wide breadth of responsibilities.
Yeah. You know, I've done a whole bunch of different things in my life, right? And then I was an event planner in a previous life as well. And so I've sort of dabbled in many different industries. And I'm really happy to say that all of those skill sets have lent to my ability to be the best coach that I can be now. Had I not gone through all those things, I would not have been able to come to where I am today, which is recognizing and seeing how what I've been through can be informative and supportive towards the growth of someone else.
Absolutely. Our experiences shape who we are and help create us as people. So if you can draw from that knowledge or from your past experience to help other people, then it's twofold, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reality is I've screwed up a whole bunch of times, and that's how I learned to be who I am today.
Well, that's what it's all about, though, is learning from our failures and not giving up. I mean, these failures are again, they shape who we become and who we are as people, and that's how we learn.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, had I not been through all of the tragedies in my life, I don't think I would be where I'm at. I don't believe that I would have the depth of understanding that I do now. And that to me is a gift.
For sure. And that's the difference, right? Some people wouldn't look at it that way. They'd play the victim and stay in that mindset.
Oh, I did that for a long time too.
Well, I think that's a natural response.
Yeah, it is a trauma response. And I really spent most of my life in victimhood. I spent most of my life feeling sorry for myself, wanting other people to feel sorry for me, doing what I could to evoke that response and that sympathy, because I had adopted some of my abusive father's narcissistic tendencies as well. And so I really had to see that and open myself up to the idea that, okay, wait a minute, I'm echoing what I saw, and I'm embodying someone else's behavior because I didn't feel good enough about who I was. And so once I saw that, then I was really able to shift.
Now, I read you've dealt with some personal trauma and struggles as a child. Is that what led you down the path to do the work you now do today?
Yeah, well, basically, I crashed and burned. I had a major meltdown. I had a nervous breakdown. I was suicidal. Wow. I really just had gotten to the place where I had allowed my past to overtake me in the worst way. And I had attracted a series of extremely toxic, negative people in my life, horrible events that, when you attract catastrophe, that was my life. Like I would just manifest, evoke, and almost wish for horrible situations that I would put myself in these circumstances and among people who were actually so wrong for me. And I wanted it though, because I wanted to win their narcissistic love. I was trying to make up for what I didn't get from my father. And so if there was a narcissist within a quarter mile, I wanted to be their very best friend. And, I fought hard to get their empty love. I really did. And it just ended up screwing me over in the end in the worst way. I got physically ill. I ended up finding out that I had 19 fibroids in my uterus, one that was the size of my uterus. I was bleeding. I was in so much pain. And so ironically, after I had the breakdown, I confronted my abusive dad. That was a huge release for me.
I'm sure.
The same day I confronted him, my very best friend in the world passed away. She was killed by a drunk driver. And I mean, I think that really just took all the anger out of my body. It took the wind out of my toxic sail, if you will. And I just decided from there that I was going to turn my whole life around. I was going to change my perspective and my attitude. And so I did. So from there, I found out what was wrong with my body, that I had all these issues, and I ended up having to get a total hysterectomy. And you know what? After that, it was like a rebirth for me. I just decided, not that long before my operation, that I was going to go get certified as a life coach. I went and got the certification. Next day had the operation. 6 weeks later, after healing, I started coaching.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Can you share a bit about your personal struggles? I know you just told us a little bit there, but can you share a bit more about your struggles and how they've helped shape the woman you've become and are today?
Yeah, I grew up in child abuse. And so from a very young age, I would say probably around 5, till I was 14, my dad was very abusive. He yelled, he screamed, he punched, he hit myself, my mom, and my autistic brother. And so that was a rough upbringing. And I ended up so many times interfering in attacks, right? I was 8 years old, and I stood between my mom and my dad when my dad tried to punch her, and I pushed him back, and he punched a hole in the wall. And that hole stayed until until my parents got divorced and we finally renovated the house and sold it. But I would stare at it, and it always, always, always reminded me of
I was going to say a reminder, right?
Every day. And as a kid, you get so confused because you want this person to love you because they're your parents, but they can't because he didn't love himself. And so it was a really toxic cycle of not knowing how to feel or what to do or how to be. And so that really informed a lot of my choices in life. And I saw so much abuse. I saw so much abuse with towards my mom, towards my brother, especially. My brother probably got the brunt of it. Like if we had been, struck and screamed at a number of times, my brother probably got it hundreds of times. It was really frightening for a long time.
I'm
and
sure.
Eventually my dad moved to Hong Kong. And, after a while, my mom asked for a divorce. And that was the last time I saw him until I was about 17, and he got remarried. And then after that, that was the last time I saw him for many, many years. Really, he didn't come to see us. He was really not around or involved in our lives, but the trauma of what happened stayed with me. And so I led a very, confusing existence where I was always looking for attention with all the wrong people in all the wrong places. And I pushed myself to the limit. I pushed myself to the brink, and I had no idea how to be my authentic self. I didn't even know what that was. And so I spent many years after that just in closeted depression. I tried to project this image of confidence, but underneath I was crumbling. I worked incredibly hard to win people's, validation and whatnot, because I thought I have to do something to be worthy of their love, And so that whole journey took me a number of years, and I really didn't confront my dad for the first time until my oldest daughter was newborn. So that was 14 years ago. I confronted him. I asked him about the abuse, and he said he didn't remember abusing us. And then he said he felt he got he got a little bit angry, and that's all he could remember. And I was like stunned into silence, Brad. I was like, you've got to be kidding me, right? So
I'm sure.
Yeah. Then it took me 2 more years to work up the courage again. And that's what turned my life around, is that moment. And that's when he came to the table, and I just said, listen, either this is your chance. Either you change and you shift and you show me you're truly sorry, or I'm gone. This will be the last time you'll see me or your grandkids again. And I said, if you bullshit me, I will know. I literally said those exact words. And I said, you don't get to invalidate me by saying the abuse didn't happen, because you know it did. And that shut him up right away. And then after that, he burst into tears, and we just talked it all out. And since then we've we've been healing together, and he
Amazing.
came on to my book launch on my birthday this year on August 14th, and he spoke. And he wrote a letter at the end of the book. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty amazing. That's what's transformative about my story that nobody else really, it's very rare. I don't want to say nobody else. I'm sure there's other people in the world that have gone through this, but it's rare that an abuser admits to the abuse. And
yeah. Well, at least you're able to start healing with him. That's good. And the relationship wasn't totally lost. I mean, years were lost, but you can always make up for lost time, right?
Yeah, it's really nice. At the end of the book, at the end of his letter, he actually says that a second of your love is worth a century of mine, and that sentence alone, beautiful. Yeah, it just totally got me, and I thought, that's it. It doesn't matter how much time has passed; we can make up for it now.
So, how is your relationship now with him?
He's great. He actually, as a gift to me, he actually bought and printed a whole bunch of my books and sent them to me so that I could have them to be able to use. So I thought that was such an amazing thing, because he still had some, quietly, maybe he still is worried about embarrassment and shame around what he did. Yeah. But I keep telling him every time he speaks about it, and every time he comes out and bears his soul, he's helping somebody else stop the abuse. And
has he apologized to your siblings and your mother as well?
To my brother and to my mom, yes, he has. Absolutely. Yeah, they were there when it took place. So it was huge. It was a really big deal.
That is huge. Amazing.
Yeah. And my mom's still healing.
To hear that.
Yeah, it's, you know what? I think he's 80 now. So Can you imagine? It took him almost his entire life.
Wow, it's heartbreaking on one hand, but it's wonderful and amazing that he finally did come to the realization before it was too late.
Yeah, it's huge. And, I think that it's brought me so much change in my life too, and in the most beautiful way. I actually had a gentleman named Finus Parkerson, who I'm now doing some work with, and we started the Healing Starts With Us conference, but he's a reformed abuser, and he was moved when he heard my story. So he reached out to me, and we both started chatting, and he just said, look, I've got to do something with you. I don't know what would we have to do something. And we both just decided that we're going to use our stories to help change people's hearts.
Amazing. Now, you've mentioned the book. This was your first book you've written. That came out, was it this year or 2019?
So I went to a book conference and I printed 30 copies to sell at the conference, literally like hot off the presses from my local printer, sold those. And that was my first taste of publishing. And then I didn't actually launch until my birthday, August 14th. So that's the official launch date.
Okay. Now, can you tell us a bit about the book, the title, and what the inspiration was behind the book?
Yeah, it's called If I Could, I Would, A Child's Journey from Abuse to Hope. And it is written in a children's book format. And it's got, my mom actually did the line drawings. Okay. And my girlfriend, Lindsay Trevors, who's an amazing graphic designer, she ended up doing, redrawing them in graphic form, right? So in all the colors and everything. And so what ended up happening was I had written this actually a number of years ago, and I had been using it in presentations when I was working at the shelter. And so, I would go to schools and I would share it with people, and I always knew that it was impactful, but I knew that I wanted to do something more. And it's so ironic that all of this happened, and it just turned out to be the right timing. And I decided to put it in a book. So at the end of it, I also have 10 ways that kids can express themselves without yelling, screaming, hitting. And then I have 12 tips on how to fight with love. So that's something that can apply to all ages and to everyone, adults and teens alike. And so that's my little book. It's only 30 pages. It'll probably won't take you more than 15, 20 minutes to read. but I think that it is something that can really shift people to think once, twice, and 3 times before they engage in abusive behavior. I mean, I have too. That's the reality. Like, I'm fully able to admit and be honest and say that because I went through abuse, I was abusive. And I had to decide for myself what kind of life I wanted to live and how I wanted to treat people.
So how long did it take you to write the book? And was it a tough process for you? Because I imagine you pulled from some of your own experience and used that in the book. So was that tough for you? Was it cathartic? Was it how was it?
It was super cathartic because what I did is I reimagined all of the abusive moments as if I was in control. So like, I'll give you an example. I talked about that incident where I put myself in between my mom and dad like a wall. Right. And
Right.
So I said, if I could make myself into a wall, I would put myself in between my mom and dad when my dad tries to hurt her.
Yeah.
If I could be a punching bag, I would let my dad hit me instead. Sometimes he does, but that's okay because he said I was being bad. So, I talked about the realities of what took place, but I did it in such a way that it's palatable to read.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, it gave me the opportunity to sort of rewrite the past in a way that I could just shift things in my own direction. And so that's what I do with my clients too. It's the same idea. I always say, rewrite your past to change your destiny. Memories have power. Our imagination is more influential than logic. So when we think something, it actually becomes real. And so that's a big part of what I do in this book.
Well, that's what manifestation's all about too, though, right? I mean, you
right.
put it out there and you think about it and of course, if you just will something, it's not going to happen. You have to do the work as well. But
yes,
putting it out there to the universe is the first step, and then putting in the work, and then you make it happen.
Well, and I think for this, the reimagination of things is so important because it just helps to take the fire out of the painful memory.
Yeah.
And it allows you to see that you're now safe, and that you can make different decisions for yourself that won't put you into any situation that is unsafe anymore. I always say to everyone, I will never be abused again.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anybody says to me or does to me. I know how to walk away. I know how to be assertive. I know how to use my voice and to be strong. So I'm very confident in that statement.
Amazing. Now, I also read that you were nominated for a 2020 Author Academy Award. And if memory serves correctly, you won that award.
I won. Yeah. It's called the Author Elite Awards. So, it was Academy, but then the actual Academy went after them and made them change.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So funny, right? I'm like, wow. Okay. So crazy. So anyway, but yeah, it was very shocking. There were over 11,000 votes in my category.
Wow.
Over
Congratulations.
90 books.
That's huge.
It was huge. It was so funny because like in the winning moment, like I didn't know that I was going to win. And I had sent my family off to the cottage because I was going to be on this online conference all weekend. So I thought, they might as well just go and have fun, enjoy the nice weather.
Yeah.
And literally like I was sitting there and I won and I'm like bawling and I'm crying and I'm so happy. And I'm like, I have nobody to hug.
You can't hug anyway. We're in the middle of a pandemic.
That's a very good point, my friend. That is a very good point. Yeah. I didn't even have anybody to virtually high five, But anyway, no, it was funny. Apparently they were in the Harvey's drive-through when they heard my husband and my daughters and the poor woman who was taking their order, like they all screamed. Like, I'm so happy. And then she was like, what's going on?
What was that? What was the moment like for you? Like, how did it feel to out of that many entries, and like, how can you describe the feeling?
Oh my gosh. I was at a loss for words, and I never am. And it's so funny because I was like not anticipating winning, but I thought, let me just write down a few words just in case. But I really didn't think I was going to use them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, oh my God, I have to say something. So, and it's funny because they said that you have to hit this little green button. Like if you win, this green button will pop up on your screen that says join the live stream, right? So then I'm like, I saw the green button. I'm like, this is for me. Like, what's And so it was unbelievable. And I mean, it was cool because I hopped on a Facebook Go Live like right after I won. And I was like, all the beautiful messages of support and encouragement and love. Like, I mean, this is the thing. My book is a simple little book. Like it is not, some grand kind of crazy thing. You know what I mean? It's very simple illustrations, simple words. But for me, it was just reinforcement that my message of empowerment, my message of healing, my message of love is important.
Well, it's a subject matter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think people talk about this very much. Like, to be honest, I got rejected from a children's book publisher because they said the topic was too dicey,
Oh, really?
Abuse doesn't sell. That's what I was told.
Huh. And here you won an award.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, right? It's like, hey, it's all good, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. It just goes to show you that what you do isn't for everybody, right?
No, and that's okay. I think that at the end of the day, whoever resonates with the message, great. And if you don't, no problem. It was nice knowing you. No big deal.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Now, you had mentioned earlier that you've done some work as an event planner and fundraiser. Can you tell us a bit about that? And do you still dabble in those areas?
I try not to, but
okay.
No. You know what? It was great. I had a company with a good friend of mine, Stacey Evans, and we were called Freelance Event Specialists. So I did that for a number of years, and it was fantastic, and we really enjoyed it, and it was great. There was one point where I was literally working like 2 full-time jobs, so it was pretty crazy time. But it was at the end of that stage that I had my breakdown. Probably because I was overworked and I had overcommitted myself to many things, trying to please everybody. And so that was when that happened. The fundraising was when I was at that same job at the shelter. So all of those different jobs were in one job, essentially.
Yeah. But you spread yourself pretty darn thin. And again, that goes back to the self-love sentiment and not having the self-love and looking after yourself first, right?
Oh, I just wanted to say yes to everybody for everything. I didn't know how to say no. You wanted to know me back then because I would not turn you down. If you said, hey, Cecilia, I need you to, give me the shirt off your back, and then I want to borrow all 10 pairs of your shoes, and then I want you to give me all the food in your fridge, I would have been like, sure, Brad, I'll be right over. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll deliver it to you. I'll deliver the food to you.
I will. I'll deliver it to you at my expense. It was one of those things where I just cost myself so much. And I mean, if I have any regrets in my life, it's that I really impacted my family. My girls and my husband saw me in a state that I don't wish on anybody.
Yeah.
There was a point where I was laid out on the floor and I couldn't even get up off the couch for over a week. I hadn't eaten, I hadn't slept. I was just overwrought. And it was a really hard time because I was so physically weak. I was emotionally drained. I just had nothing left in my tank. And I mean, these people just, my hearts, they just picked me right up off that floor and they healed me. So
that's what family does, though. That's what we do. We care and do what we need to do for the people we love.
Yeah. You care when you can't care for yourself,
That's right.
It's unbelievable. So I'm super blessed because I've definitely tested all the relationships in my life, like big time,
including the one with yourself.
Yes. That's so interesting that you say that, because if anything, I was pushing away the person that I knew I really was because I was scared. I was almost scared of rejecting myself. Isn't that interesting? Right? Yeah.
What makes you feel, speaking of self, what makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
You know what? Just what I do every day. I finally found my purpose. I've turned my pain into purpose and I love it. I think that just makes me feel most myself because I know that this is of me. It's a decision that I made, that I'm confident in, that I know is my mission in life. So in that sense, I'm myself every single day now, and I never was before. So it feels really nice. I feel settled in my soul.
That is the most incredible feeling, I would say, to know that you've found your purpose in life and found your lot in life, and you love what you do. I mean, there's so many people out there who get stuck in the 9 to 5 or whatever the case may be. I mean, there's nothing wrong with 9 to 5. Some people have 9 to 5 and they absolutely love their jobs, and that's great. But I think there's so many people out there that are so miserable with what they're doing. They don't like it. They don't love it. They wake up dreading going to work in the morning. It's a horrible feeling. But on the flip side of that, to know that you found your purpose in life, like that's beyond loving your job. Like that's just, I don't think it gets any better than that.
Oh, it really doesn't. I mean, to have this kind of excitement every day, like I literally get up and I think, whose life can I change today?
Yeah.
Right. And it happens every single time. Like it's pretty funny. I have a bank of clients right now who they've all kind of referred me to each other. And so it's like whole families, right? And then they're friends. And so they were laughing, saying they're going to start Cecilia Tement make t-shirts, right? Because and it was like, there was one coworker who had not been in on, my coaching yet. And so they were all talking about me. And then this one woman, she'd never met me. And she's like, what's going on? What is this all about? And they're like, do you want in? She's like, yeah, I want in, And so now I'm coaching her too. Yeah. It's so funny, right? So it's like, it's so nice though to see. And this is what I believe is that when you change, everyone around you changes with you, whether you realize it or not. When you elevate yourself to a level of love and understanding and limitlessness, then all of a sudden everyone around you is like, I want to catch that feeling. I want the same thing. And if anything should be contagious, it's love, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you share a situation that's occurred in your life that you feel provides insight as to your character, who Cecilia is?
Oh, wow. Who am I? You know what? I think that I'm somebody who, I just believe in compassion and kindness. I think that a specific situation, let me think. I don't know, all of them?
No, just one.
Oh gosh. Okay. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things I don't like to highlight myself in that way per se, but you know what? I guess in general, I don't think I have a specific one per se, but I do like to give of myself to other people. When I see someone who's really in need and who's just in a desperate place, I'll go out of my way to be there, to listen, to support, to uphold, and to inspire. I think that, I don't give up on the people that everybody else has given up on. I think that's one thing that I do really well.
Yeah.
I've had people come to me who said, nobody wants to help me. I'm beyond help.
Wow.
And I'm just like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
Nobody is.
Nobody is. And I have, there's a great story that I have a client now who, I know she won't mind me talking about this. She gave up cigarettes to be able to work with me. And I was like, and I told her, I said, listen, I'm going to be better for you than cigarettes, right?
That was a requirement to work with you? She had to give up cigarettes?
No, she couldn't afford my services. And so she knew. She goes, but if I give up my cigarette money,
wow,
I can. And I said, fantastic, let's do it.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. And it's one of those things where when you see that there's something that's burdening your heart and you feel like you can't get out of it, I'm the person who's going to always say, never give up on yourself. I won't give up on you if you don't. Let's do this. Let's do this together, because I think everybody has magic inside of them. Everybody has all the answers they need. They just have to unfold them from underneath the layers of doubt and fear. That's all you have to do.
That's
and once
right.
you get there, it feels so good. So for me, that's my gift.
Awesome. What would you say is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received?
Well, I will say this, and it is from my friend who passed. Okay. So it's, I believe it's something beyond us, right? So for me, it was something that she told me, after she left, which is, be joy, be happy, live your life. You're still here. And I thought, yeah, I'm still here. So yes, I have nothing to complain about, nothing to whine about, nothing to worry about. I'm still here. I get to breathe in and out, and that's I have to take full advantage of that every second of every day.
Yeah. I mean, so often we get caught up in the shit and we forget. I think we don't realize how lucky we are to be alive. And I mean, this is one of the greatest times, I think, on earth to be alive. And I know that 2020 has been a shitstorm. There's been a lot of bad stuff and a lot of death and a lot of uprising in the world. And it's not just in one particular area, though. It's the world over. Everyone's going through shit. But I think we need to find the silver lining and appreciate what we have. And this has been the perfect time to actually slow down and appreciate what we have. I mean, I read an article when all of this shit first started at the beginning of the year, the pandemic, and it was called Gaslighting. And it was about the fact that we have never had in our lifetime this opportunity to slow down and appreciate all the things that we have in life, where the world has literally stopped. And this was the time to reflect.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And I think if we can take that collective pause.
Yes.
And say what really matters, not what we think matters, what really matters, and focus on that.
Yeah.
Because I think there's so much divisiveness out there. It's so easy to tear each other down and break people apart.
Yeah.
But it takes more work and more focus and more love to actually bring people together.
Well, I think that's also too, because we have to look at ourselves when we do that, right? And people don't want to do that. People don't like looking inside. So that's a big part of it. I just hope that whenever this thing does end, that we can continue to enjoy and appreciate the small things that we've had the opportunity to do so with this collective pause, as you said.
Yeah. I mean, this kind of forced moment to be together is huge. And I mean, I think that people just rush through their lives so quickly, and we're all so busy on our phones and, watching the news and not looking at one another in the eyes. I always say that. I always say to my clients, I go, how much of the time that you spend with your loved one are you actually looking at them while they're talking?
Yeah.
And you'd be shocked at how many don't. Almost
no,
all of us.
I wouldn't be actually. I wouldn't. I honestly wouldn't be.
Yeah.
We have to learn to appreciate.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, I mean, to look someone in the face and say, I hear you, I see you, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping ahead with my own thoughts. I'm actually present for you.
That makes being a difference. In the moment, for sure.
Oh yeah. People feel my presence all the time. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm with them, I'm with you 100%. I don't think about it. Yeah. You have to let them know it. If you don't, because letting them know it is actually showing them their worth.
That's right. For sure.
Yeah.
What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life, and what was your life like before learning it, and what was your life like after learning it?
Oh man. So, I think it has to be that I am enough and that I love myself deeply and absolutely. I think that's the one thing that has completely turned everything around for me. Before I had no self-love, I was completely lost. I felt like I was flailing about, you know what I mean? Like, I would just, whatever direction the wind blew me, I would go, and not in a good way. And now I feel so grounded, so self-assured. I feel clear about what I'm supposed to be doing day in and day out. And that the kind of love that I have is so fierce and so massive that I actually don't remember what it was like to not have it. And I actually have a hard time going back and recalling, because it actually feels like every fiber of my being. Like, that's now, amazing. Yeah, I mean, who I am is night and absolute day. And I think that, I always tell people, you are the light after the dark. You're the light, you know, and I can't imagine feeling any better than I do now. I can't imagine anything less than what I am. I don't know how. Beautiful.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become so successful?
I think compassion. I think absolute compassion and non-judgment. You have to not judge anyone for anything that they've gone through. When we start judging, condemning, or criticizing people, that's when we take away from our own selves.
Right.
So when you have ultimate compassion, it means that you look at each and every person and you try to see them from a different angle instead of what's in front of you. Because what's on the surface is almost never the truth.
Yeah.
And, even people who've made massive mistakes, I look at them and I say, what happened to you that caused you to make those mistakes? What did you go through that told you that you needed to make this decision or commit this act or hurt somebody else?
Yeah.
What happened to you? And often when I say that, people just, they break down crying, or they totally start to see all of the trappings of what they've been held back by for so long. Mm-hmm. And another question I always ask is, what is it you need to let go of? Yeah. What haven't you let go of? And then after that, it just all comes out. So I think that's my superpower, is just being able to see through right to the core of who you are. I can be around somebody and just feel their energy and their presence and say to them, are you struggling with this? And they'll be like, yes, it's so funny, right? When people, I used to say my superpower was making people cry, but that's not my goal.
No.
Right?
Just awakening them.
awakening them. And, with the awakening comes the tears. And it's funny.
Right.
Like sometimes in a day, if I have multiple appointments, one after the other, it's like, oh my gosh, I made 6 people cry today.
I can make people cry.
I know. Maybe I should put that. Maybe that should be my new tagline. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, I'll make them cry, but at the end of the day, they'll end up in a smile. That's
there you go. That's it. That's the key right there.
That's right.
Who would you say have been the 3 most influential people in your life?
Holy cow. That's a big one. So I'm gonna loop 2 people together. I'm gonna say my kids, my daughters, because I see so much of myself in them, but I also see themselves and who they've become, and just to see their wonder, their joy, their light, their heart. That's influenced me every day to think I made these people, and now they're making themselves, and so that makes me proud. I would say for sure my mom, because the strength and resilience that she's shown over her entire lifetime is so moving. And I feel deeply connected to the idea that she suffered so greatly for me. And I hope that I can bring her some alleviation of that suffering now that I'm in the position to do so. So she was a huge one for me. Obviously my dad, is a huge one as well. I think that his coming to the table and admitting to the abuse and being able to say sorry sincerely from his heart, that changed me. And I actually never thought I would stop being angry at him. And to see now that the anger no longer exists, that is a miracle,
For sure. And, that's amazing.
It's huge. And the last person would be my friend Carla, the one who passed away. I think she completely changed me. I know you only asked for 3, but I don't care.
That's all right. We can lump your parents together as one anyway.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate the flexibility. Yeah. No, but she changed me because she was somebody who had ultimate joy, and she didn't have a lot in life, but she had the biggest heart of anyone I knew. Yeah. And I think that losing her if anything can be cataclysmic, it was that. Her loss was so major to me, and I've just come to a beautiful space of peace about it now, and I feel like she's with me every day. So I think that, she changed my heart irrevocably in the best sense, and so I'm always going to be grateful to her.
That's beautiful. What would you say is your personal motto?
You are the love that you seek.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
You know what? Success to me is just being me, being the real me all the time.
Beautiful.
In everything that I do, that's success.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment means leaning into myself and knowing that I can be and do whatever I want, and that there is absolutely nothing standing in my way except for me.
Love it. How would you like to be remembered?
Oh, man. Well, hopefully I don't go anytime soon.
No.
You know what? I think I'll steal one from my mom. I think I want to be remembered as always loving and always loved.
Perfect. How would you describe yourself in one word? I love it. I'm making Cecilia think.
I know, right? I usually come up with these things. No problem. You got me. In one word. My gosh. You know what? Whole.
What's that?
I'm whole.
Whole? Okay.
Whole.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What was your dream job as a child?
Oh, I wanted to be an actress or a singer. Those are like the 2 big things that I think I really wanted when I was a kid. Now that I'm older, there's no way I would have wanted to act, but definitely singing. I think that's like the one thing that, in a previous life, I would have wanted to be on Broadway.
Did you pursue any of that stuff when you were a kid, like singing lessons or?
Yeah, all kinds. Oh my gosh. And then, now I like sing at friends' weddings for fun and that kind of thing. And I've done the occasional performance here and there, but it's really like, I definitely love music. So now I still incorporate it. Like, if I do a go live on my, like with my coaching, I'll pop in a song just for,
just to shake it up a bit.
Just to shake it up. I'm the singing coach, right? But it's
the singing. There's your tagline, the singing coach.
There's a new one. No, listen, I find music very healing. So
it is for sure. I think art in general is very healing, but there's just something in particular about music that just, because you hear a song and it you associate a memory with it. It can take you back to an exact moment in time. And that's an incredible thing. And it's the same thing with photography. You can look at a picture and it takes you back to an exact moment where you captured that, and you'll never be able to capture that exact moment ever again. It's just, art is an incredible thing. It's an incredibly healing thing.
It's amazing. And it's so funny, I just went back and did this whole 28 Days of Truth as I was launching my course, and I used childhood photos, and it was unbelievable to me how it evoked the feelings of that time. It brought me right back to when I was a kid. It was unreal, and both good and bad feelings, and it was fascinating. So photograph and capture everything. Yeah,
photography is an incredible art form. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, me too.
If you could set up a billboard anywhere, where would you put it and what would it say?
Well, you got a lot of these, eh?
Yeah, a lot. Well, that's what I want the interview to be thought-provoking.
I would say I would put the bill. Where would I put it? Like a place, an actual place?
Yeah. Anywhere you think. I would imagine it would be anywhere that would get the most eyes on it.
Yeah, I guess in Times Square, is where the most eyes are. But
okay.
I would say, love yourself first, best, and most.
Beautiful. What gives you the motivation to keep going?
Transformation. I think that seeing people transform themselves, because of love, that is the best thing that I can think of. Like I literally am jazzed to see that when someone says to me, I get it.
Yeah. Would you rather be able to dance like Michael Jackson or sing like Freddie Mercury?
Oh, sing for sure.
Yeah, I figured. What's the most recent investment you've made in yourself?
Like financial investment?
Any investment.
You know what? We just bought a cottage with our really, really amazing friends. And that to me was a major investment of time, energy, money, but being in the woods and being out there by the water is so healing. And that was the best thing we could have done. I just love it there.
Okay. What's one thing you've always wanted to do in life, but never have?
I still want to travel a lot more. I really haven't traveled enough. I'd love to go to Bali one day. That's like on my bucket list. Yeah. So definitely travel some more and see the world, but not now.
What would you say is one of your favorite entrepreneurial books?
That's a great question. It's so funny. I actually read this when I was like really young. My mom was always into Think and Grow Rich.
Okay, yeah.
It's so funny that I think a lot of the theories still stand today. So that in terms of business, I think that was one that I really enjoyed even when I was young and understood nothing.
If you came with a warning label, what would yours say?
Oh, my warning label? Well, do you want to ask my husband?
No, I'm asking you.
Get on board the love train, people.
All right.
If you don't want love, then don't hang out with me.
That's beautiful. I love it. If you had a theme song that played every time you walked into a room, what song would it be?
Oh, God. Walking on Sunshine.
All right. That's a good one. If you could sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with anyone in the world, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, alive or dead? My gosh, you really got me here today. I want to say, gosh, let me think. You know what? I really love Marianne Williamson. I think she's an amazing author. she's quirky, but I like that about her. But I just think she's got such a peaceful presence and she has amazing insights. So I think I'd love to have a convo with her.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Oh, I would say have more fun. Have more fun. I think I was too damn serious as a kid, man. I grew up so fast. I would want to play more. I would want to enjoy my time.
Lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like?
I would just want everyone to know that love is the most powerful force out there. It is stronger than fear and anger and pain. And it is the most healing thing that you can have in your heart and in your soul and that you can share with other people. And the more love you have, the more life you'll live.
Beautiful. I love it. Cecilia, thank you so much for being here today and sharing a bit of your story and journey and giving us a little bit of insight to your life and just insight in general. I appreciate you and I appreciate the work you're doing. I think it's amazing. And I'm just happy that you wanted to be part of the community and agreed to be part of this collective that I'm building and that we are building together, this community, and just share here today. I appreciate everything that you're doing and appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, it's my honor, Brad. I think you're an amazing person, and I'm so excited for what you have ahead of you and what you're putting together. I think that it is rare to find a man in this day and age who understands the importance of women. So thank you.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I appreciate that. Very kind words.
Love to you, my friend.
Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest has been Cecilia Tement. She is a transformational story coach and an award-winning author based in Richmond Hill. Thank you so much, Cecilia. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at viseuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.